Hi, Bill Logan again. This time talking about the creativity of hemlock trees. Eastern hemlock prefers moist, cool, hilly terrain. So the Hike Preserve is a perfect place for hemlock. The far edge of Lincoln Pond consists mainly of two stands of trees. This one is not hemlock, but white spruce. It was a plantation made by human beings in the 1930s. It's done a good job of preventing soil erosion and is in decline, probably will not be with us very much longer. But as we go around, we start to see a change in the character of the trees. They're much more delicate, much more variable in height and width. The lateral branches are almost wispy. This is also a grove or a stand of trees almost entirely of the same species, all hemlocks. But this was not planted by man. The hemlocks made it themselves. And in doing so, they changed the temperature. It's 4 or 5 degrees colder inside. The soil, it's much more acid than it is in the surrounding soils, and made it extremely dark inside. And hemlocks are notable for their ability to survive the dark. So they have made a place for themselves. Unlike the human plantation, the self-made hemlock grove contains trees of many different sizes and ages. The pit and mound topography that is typical of hemlock forests is a way that the hemlocks have of helping next generations to sprout. Here are some hemlocks in a small mound. There's a pit between them, and then a much larger mound here with both a younger and an older generation hemlock growing up through it. Those mounds are created by the root plates when they fall, rise up in the air, and then decay, making a hospitable place for new hemlocks to grow. Beautiful, beautiful recycling Ganoderma, almost like the wings of birds. Hemlock roots are one of the most remarkable things about them, but usually we don't see them. Here there's been some erosion, so we can see a few of the superficial roots. One of the interesting things about them is that as the roots go out, should they meet another root, they may join it. Here, look at this root. Created a side root, and then that side root met a different root, and it appears to be now joining to that root. So a hemlock forest, although it may appear to be composed of individual trees, is actually composed of companions who share resources. Hemlocks do not resprout from the base, but their stumps can remain alive for a period of time. You can see this little stump has a roll of woundwood in it, right there. The stump is still alive underground, and its root system still connected to the other trees around it and to the organism that forms this hemlock grove. Here's another small hemlock stump where you can see the almost rounded and snake-like section here? That is new growth. So the hemlock stump is not dead. Here again, same thing. So this stump is remaining alive, and it is very likely connected to this hemlock here, to this hemlock here, to this hemlock here. Because it is near the wetland, likely its roots are going down the hill and helping to bring water to the entire forest. Hemlocks make considerable duff at their base, sometimes 3 or 4 inches thick. Sometimes even their own seedlings can't get a start in this duff. Instead, a hemlock may be able to sprout simply on the stump of another tree, whether hemlock or another species, in the same area. And then years later, when that stump is decayed, the hemlock appears to be growing on stilts. There are 5 great hemlock stands in the Hike Preserve, All are now threatened by the hemlock woolly adelgid. If we want to keep these great forests, we have to protect them.